This is WALB News 10 at 11.
So a lot of people have turned us down when we asked can we stay at their house. So they turned us down, so we having to stay in the cold and wrap up with a lot of warm cover.
Some without power in Albany are deciding not to go to shelters despite dangerously frigid temperatures. Tonight, officials are urging those folks to stay out of the cold. Public health workers warn that hypothermia and carbon monoxide poisoning can become problems for people braving the elements or trying to heat their own homes. Residents like Marquita Wimberly, who now has power, says she avoided shelters because she was concerned about her health as someone who's pregnant. Red Cross organizers say the facilities are meant to prevent many of the dangers folks may come across without power.
Albany Police Department has 2 officers at each shelter. They've increased security presence around the areas the shelters are in. We have nurses there. We've got hot meals.
The 2 Red Cross shelters in Albany provided a safe refuge for 72 people overnight last night. And if you do need a shelter tonight, there are still 16 shelters open throughout Albany. The 2 City and Red Cross shelters are the Albany Civic Center and Avalon United Methodist Church. There's also 12 Good Samaritan shelters open overnight. You can find that complete list of shelters on our website, WALB.com. Today, Albany officials are assuring citizens that restoring power to the 2,500 people still without is their main focus as a massive cleanup of the city moved into day 6. Sunday morning, 1,000 homes got power back. 12 work crews are assigned to locations throughout the city where they are removing debris from roadways and preparing for more power restoration. Officials want to ensure folks that areas without power will be safe throughout the night.
And we will be putting up barricades and having enhanced police presence to include restricting access in and out of those areas to only those who have a legitimate business in there, such as they're working in there or living in there.
Officials say one of their next hurdles is getting federal assistance. The city of Albany has released a map of power outages across the city. There are 8 areas still without power that encompass those 2,500 people. The biggest area is on the east side. It's partly bounded by Clark Avenue, Turner Field Road, Blaylock Street, Don Cutler Senior Drive. You can find this outage on our WALB.com website as well. And as we mentioned, there's still some folks without power throughout Albany tonight. Meteorologist Andrew Gordon has a look at what they can expect heading into the week.
Well, we still have to deal with these cold temperatures tonight. In fact, here in Albany, we're one of the colder spots in the state right now at 28 degrees. So please, if you have elderly neighbors or infants, it's not too late to go to those shelters. They're going to be open all night. Also, take care of your pets outside as well. Bring them in if you can and let your faucets drip tonight. It's the last night you're going to have to do that for a while. You don't need those pipes bursting. As we look at the next set of tips here for you. Don't use an open flame indoors either. That's very dangerous. And if you have a space heater, have that about 3 feet away from any furniture so we can prevent some fires here with these cold temperatures. Right now it feels like 28 in Albany and it feels like freezing across most of southwest Georgia, actually 26 down in Valdosta, but the actual temperatures are going to stay at about 28 to 29 as we go into the next few hours, and it's going to be very chilly overnight. But Mike, some good news. I've got 70s in the forecast, which is something we haven't seen in some time. So good news for those people tired of the cold.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks, Andrew. We now know when Dougherty County students will head back to school. Because so many people were affected by the storm, students won't return to school until Tuesday. That's January 17th. School-based employees will go back Wednesday, January 11th, and 12-month employees will return tomorrow, Monday, January 9th. And you can find a full list of school closures on our website as well. New at 11, a random act of kindness made one Albany storm victim's life a little easier today. Shawana Coleman, who lives on West Society Avenue, says a group of generous employees from Metro Power showed up to help clean her yard. Downed trees and other debris were scattered throughout it after last week's storm. Coleman says her family is still shaken by the frightening experience, but grateful for all those helping out.
A lot of people would only help the homeowners, but with the Metro Electric Power Service, they came out and they helped on their own. We're all trying to come together and help out where we can.
Coleman says volunteers from the Red Cross also stopped by to ensure that she was safe. Multiple Albany businesses have pulled together the past few days to help storm victims. In the parking lot of Staples on North Slappy Boulevard, Zaxby's employees, along with other volunteers, have been grilling and giving out free meals and blankets. George Houston with Zaxby's says they're simply helping out the community that's been supporting them for years.
Over the last 4 days, I know we've done about 4,800 hamburgers and hot dogs that we've just been giving away to people, storm victims, people helping out, and it's just been awesome to see the community come together because it's been a lot more than just us.
Houston says they plan to keep handing out meals and blankets until they run out of supplies. Investigators search for a suspect they believe murdered a Cairo man, how they're asking the public to help. And President-elect Donald Trump is preparing to take office, the call to action Republican lawmakers have as his inauguration nears. A man is now in custody after a car chase shut down parts of Interstate 75 near Sparks. Officials say they began chasing a white male in Turner County on I-75 southbound. Georgia State Patrol managed to stop the vehicle near mile marker 40 in Sparks. Officials say the suspect had weapons inside his vehicle and was threatening to commit suicide. A Lowndes County SWAT team and a negotiator were called in to assist. Tear gas was ultimately used to pull the suspect from the vehicle. Officials said that no officers were hurt and the suspect may have received minor injuries. I-75 has been reopened. The GBI and Cairo Police Department have secured arrest warrants on a suspect for the murder of Elijah Denzel Smith. Smith was found dead Saturday in the area of 7th Street and 3rd Avenue in Cairo. Police are searching for Nicholas LaQuinte Perry, a 20-year-old black man from Cairo. Anyone who knows where he is should call Grady County 911, Cairo PD, or the GBI. A Worth County firefighter was hurt and 2 people rescued in Sumner during a house fire Saturday. According to Worth County Fire Chief Tim Hayes, the fire happened around 6 a.m. That was yesterday. Firefighters saved 2 elderly people from the home. 20 firefighters responded to contain the fire. No other structures were damaged. 1 firefighter had minor injuries but was treated and released. New at 11, there are calls from fellow Republicans for President-elect Donald Trump to show leadership and act on U.S. intelligence, proving that Russia hacked emails to try and influence the U.S. election. NBC's Jennifer Johnson has our story.
With less than 2 weeks to go before he becomes president, Donald Trump and his team are still pushing back against an intelligence report that Russia meddled in the U.S. election, instead blaming the Democratic National Committee.
We're talking about this because we had embarrassing leaks from the DNC emails. There were no fireworks in that report because there was no firewall at the DNC.
Trump was briefed by intelligence leaders on the hacking evidence Friday. Saturday, he tweeted that having a good relationship with Russia is a good thing, and only stupid people or fools would think that is bad. Fellow Republicans are calling on the president-elect to show leadership and make Russia pay.
If after having been briefed by our intelligence leaders, Donald Trump is still unsure as to what the Russians did, that would be incredibly unnerving to me because the evidence is overwhelming.
President Obama and Trump disagree about what to do with Russia, but Mr. Obama says the two have had cordial talks during this transition.
As soon as you walk into this office after you've been sworn in, you're now in charge of the largest organization on earth. You can't manage it the way you would manage a family business.
The president-elect's cabinet choices begin Senate confirmation hearings this week. Some of his most controversial picks are up first. Jeff Sessions for Attorney General, Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State, and Mike Pompeo for CIA Director. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
The Flint River Aquarium is helping storm victims take their mind off the damage. How the organization opened their doors for those in need this weekend.
Temperatures across the southeast mostly below freezing. Another cold night ahead of us, but the good news is that we have 70s back in the forecast, even upper 70s. I'll let you know when we can expect that warmer weather here right after the break.
Flint River Aquarium gave folks a way to get their minds off of storm damage this weekend. The museum offered free admission Friday, Saturday, and today. According to the Flint River Aquarium's Facebook page, the facility did lose power for several days, but no animals or equipment were harmed. And a reminder, as crews continue responding to storm damage, officials are asking Dougherty County residents with non-emergency calls to avoid using the emergency line. They're asking those people to call these numbers instead. Those numbers are 229-483-6226 and 229-483-6227. And despite a flood warning from the National Weather Service, water levels on the Kinchafoonee Creek are expected to go down. EMA officials say water has drained back off roadways, streets, and warning signs have also been moved. The NWS issued the flood warning for the creek in Lee County on Thursday. Officials expect the creek's water level to go down over the next couple days.
Now your WALB First Alert weather was meteorologist Andrew Gorton.
And we're starting off this year with a surplus of rain. We're already over halfway to our normal value for this month, but not much rain in the forecast over the next 7 days. Right now, we're going to deal with these below freezing temperatures at least till about 8:30 or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Only going to top off at about 50 degrees. Some of us won't even get that warm tomorrow, but we will have plenty of sunshine. Right now across the state, very cold. We've got 28 here in Albany. That's one of the cooler spots across the area right now. 29 in Valdosta, 32 Fitzgerald. Just about as cold up there in the northern part of the state. Now it's pretty clear across the area, and it's going to stay clear overnight as well, meaning we're only going to get colder out there. Temperatures, again, 28 in Albany, 26 the cold spot down there in Valdosta. Now, the good news with all of this is that there's not much wind outside, so we are actually a few degrees colder than we were at this time last night, but it doesn't feel as bad because we don't have the wind to deal with. So if we had the wind, we would have a bigger, more significant wind chill. We're just not dealing with that. So the feels like temperature is just about the same as what the actual temperature is this evening, but it will go down a little bit as we go into the morning. Now the temperatures will stay in the 29 to 28 degree range for most of us. A few of us will get a little cooler than that as we go into the overnight hours. All of us will be below freezing again until about 9 o'clock, but the wind chills, if it does pick back up, we could have wind chills down in the 20s, the lower 20s as we go into the morning. So bundle up before you head back out. I know not everyone's going back to school tomorrow, but if you are going to be up early, make sure that you are bundled. And of course, if you're going to work as well. The rest of your Monday, plenty of sunshine for us. The wind chills will stay in the 30s until just about noon. And then after topping out about 49 to 50 degrees, back down to 46 there by 5. Notice the wind tomorrow from the east, so it's not going to be that cold northerly wind, and it's not going to be as strong either. But as we go into Monday evening, we're going to have temperatures still in the 40s, except for down in Valdosta at 50 there at 6:20. But then it just tumbles as we go overnight again. But more good news is that we don't need these freezing temperatures, and it looks like tonight going into tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock is going to be the last of it for a little while. So we're going to stay above freezing as we go into Tuesday morning. So that is some good news because it is just downright cold out there with lows tonight in the mid to upper 20s. We're going to have 23 there or 33 on Tuesday. So again, I think that we're going to stay above freezing Tuesday. We just have to get through tonight, and then we just skyrocket temperature-wise as we get into next week. These lows are going to be warmer than our highs the next couple of days. So we have much warmer weather coming our way. In fact, we're making a big jump from Monday to Tuesday, from 50 to the mid 60s, and then by the time Wednesday rolls around, we're going to be in the 70s. So it's going to feel like the springtime out there, even though we're going to be in January. You'll forget about these cold temperatures that we've had. Even 77 in the forecast there on Friday. It's shaping up to be a good weekend, but first we have to get through these first couple of cool days here with partly cloudy skies coming in on Tuesday. Again, Monday is going to be pretty sunny. Good day for cleanup with the wind not so strong out there, and then we just really start ramping up temperature-wise, and it's going to last through the weekend, really going into next week as well, with 70s holding from Wednesday into next Monday.
And then there were 8. The divisional round of the NFL playoffs are set. See what the matchup is for the Falcons. Plus, we're less than 24 hours from the kickoff in the national championship. Will Clemson disrupt the Alabama dynasty? Hear from both coaches as Theo Dorsey has sports after the break.
The best peaks of the day come right at 11:40 a.m. and the next best one 11:20 in the evening, right as that national championship game is wrapping up. Maybe if it's not too cold, maybe no.
It's gonna be kind of cold.
It's gonna. Is it? Yeah, all right. Unfortunate. All right, that's about all we have for now. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.